We are here today in Sacramento at the Capitol to advocate for music education. This is something we have been doing for several years under the Stand Up for Music banner, as sponsored by California Music Educators Association. When we first started out, we were trying to convince people why music education is important. We've laid the groundwork, we've created a framework, we are able to discuss with our legislators the importance of it and move on to more finite items such as which bills we support, why we need to support in certain areas, and what our future directions need to be. For many years, we have looked at music education as being the traditional Bach method, band, orchestra, and choir. And we are learning that we might, at best, reach about 20% of our students with that. What about the other 80%? So this is becoming a greater focus for us in CMEA, and therefore Stand Up for Music, to make sure that we are trying to reach all of our students with some form of music education throughout their schooling. From kindergarten through 12th grade, we believe that all students should have access to high-quality music instruction as part of a well-rounded education.
Hello, my name is Lynn Fox, and I am the lobbyist for the California Music Educators Association. Today we're here at the Capitol for Stand Up for Music Day and have invited several teachers, parents, students, and business people to come to the Capitol and talk about why music education is important in California schools. One of our main goals is to request funding to develop the visual and performing arts standards and to make sure that those standards stay on track and are on time and are released by 2019.
We at CAEA are proud to be a co-sponsor with CMEA on AB 2862, the Art Standards Bill, and we join with our dance, music, and theater educator colleagues in supporting the implementation of the Art Standards Bill and the implementation of dance and theater credentials. We recognize the arts as core curriculum, and as the arts and entertainment and the creative industries are the third largest economy in the state of California, we recognize our responsibility to ready our students to enter into that creative workforce. The implementation of both revised standards and new credentials will provide access to standards-based sequential arts education that's relevant and equitable to all students, and will go a long way to reducing the arts opportunity gap that happens to so many of our students.
We have learned that there's a system. You know, we loved music. Everyone here that's a part of this coalition, whether the educators or the music industry or the related fields, we knew that that's what we wanted to do. There really wasn't a choice. But for millions of other kids, if they didn't have that spark or didn't have that opportunity, they will never know. And I think what we're here learning this system is that we need to work with legislators and work with the education system to ensure that music and arts gets the funding it needs, gets the type of class time it needs, gets the support it needs within the community to make sure that every child has that access. And so we're here in the Capitol because what happens in this building affects 40 million people's lives every day. And for us to not be here, conversely, means our voice isn't being heard and things can happen that are really contrary to what our beliefs are. So we're here through thick and thin. Sometimes we'll have, I think, great victories, and then other times we're here just building the foundation, the knowledge, and talking to the elected officials why music and arts are so important so that when that comes, they remember us. So it's a process, and we're here because it's what we need to do. We need to be here, and if we're not here, I think we'll be missing a great opportunity.
As a dance educator, we rely on music, on musicians, on the product of music education. Every move that we make, every dance and choreography that we undertake is relying on someone else's artistry. So we're really a combined art. And so I'm really happy to be here and advocate for dance, for music, for all of the arts. And music as a central part of an education is just a really important part of a whole person and a really full and enriching life. One of the ways that we are sharing ideas about how to advocate for the arts is we're suggesting that people really build coalitions and that we work with families, parents in a really open, inviting way to bring them to the school, to let them really witness not just the product of the art, not just the end result, but those process days of learning theory and learning lines and learning moves. So we're trying to really build a cross-coalition of teachers, administrators, community members, families, and of course the students. And we feel like if we work a little less in isolation and a little more in tandem with each other, that the results will be wonderful.
NAFME is, of course, the national leader and world leader in music education, and we're up on Capitol Hill constantly. We have a team of lobbyists that maintain relationships with the members of Congress to make sure that music education is supported from the federal level. And of course, we have the recent success of adding music into the subjects, the well-rounded subjects, in the current Elementary and Secondary Education Act, now currently known as the Every Student Succeeds Act, or ESSA. And so we're very proud of that. We're now in the middle of trying to make sure that as ESSA is translated down to the states, that music education is supported in the state regulations around the various titles and the funding that follows it.
It is bringing more information to the decision makers. We have to. The problem is, unless there is law that says things must be done, they will be continue to be optional. And so Stand Up for Music, I am so proud of this group. It is advocating not just for music, but for all the arts. And I think that is very admirable.
So the governor's office and the legislators are in a situation right now where they're deciding how to spend the budget. And because of our efforts in previous years, we've passed a law. So now that there are to be written new standards for the visual and performing arts. Yet currently, it's uncertain as to whether or not those standards are going to be written based on the timeline that's said in that law. So what the governor can do and what the legislators can do is maintain the calendar for the law that they passed last year, which was passed unanimously with bipartisan support. Everybody's in favor of getting new standards for visual and performing arts in our schools. Now they just need to take that little bit, like it's a fraction of a % of the budget, and make sure that we do move forward with writing and implementing these standards.